Hello everyone, it's Taneesha here, and on the 21st of July 2021 I was diagnosed with ADHD. It took me a while to get around to it because every time I remembered, oh, I think I have ADHD, I would forget, and that was it. So I finally got around to getting diagnosed just because I needed to know, even though I definitely knew. So I wanted to share some of the reasons how I knew I had ADHD. Did that make sense? Those words didn't make sense. How I knew I had ADHD, part 1, because there's so many reasons and I'm just going to share 3. I say just, there are big things for me. So I made all of these notes on my handy dandy new laptop. I can actually edit properly now because my work laptop disappeared when I was no longer working. So I've made all these notes. I'm not going to remember this word for word, so you will get the rambly version of my well-prepared notes because I am better at writing than verbal communication. Yeah. The first thing is my interest levels. They change very quickly. I was bounced from one thing to another. It's really hard for me to stick to anything pretty much. I'll get invested in something new, something completely random, and I'll put all of my heart, my soul, my energy into this thing just to get bored of it and forget it existed 3 weeks later. It happens all of the time, and then sometimes I'll just hop back onto it in a few months or a few years. But yeah, it's not that I don't want to be interested in something and stick to it. It's really frustrating because it usually ends up in a waste of time, a waste of money. I did make a video about my past obsessions and impulse buys. I'll leave that in the description below because it explains a lot. You can just see how much of an issue it is. So I'm trying to pick things that are free. So something I'm interested in at the moment is language learning. I keep jumping between languages just because I can't pick. But I am decided now, yes, on French and Japanese because I just can't pick one thing, and why not learn 2 languages at once? I think there's only 3 things I've ever had long-term interest in. 3 things, which are photography, content creating and fashion. I have always loved these. I did fall off content creating for a little bit, but that was the stress of university, and now I'm back doing it, even if it is a bit spaced out between uploads. But I do really enjoy it, as I do with photography and fashion, so I'm trying to make all of those a career. I find it hard to have enthusiasm for something I have 0 interest in. I found that in school, when there was something, I really liked school, but if I found something really boring, my mood would drop. I'd have 0 enthusiasm and I wouldn't want to do it. I am trying to make all of these things into a career in some way. I started a business a couple of years ago. If you didn't know, I am trying to sell pre-loved and vintage clothing. So if you're interested in any of that, I'm starting to make content on Instagram at tm.vintage. I also sell clothes on eBay, tm.vintage again. That wasn't supposed to be a self-promo, but you know, why not? Number 2 is hyper-focusing. This can be such a big problem, especially when it comes to taking care of my basic needs like going to the bathroom, eating and drinking. Sometimes I'll just be so focused on something I know I need to pull myself away from it, or sometimes I just don't even realise. I physically cannot pull myself away from things, and it doesn't even have to be something I'm interested in. It can be doing something really simple and pointless, like picking all of the bobbly bits off of a jumper. I remember not too long ago I was just sitting there for about half an hour just picking all of the bobbly bits off, and I don't know why I was doing it. It was giving me a headache, but I just couldn't stop doing it. And it isn't good that a lot of the world is digital now, so doing coursework when I was in education or when I was doing my digital marketing job, I knew I needed to pull myself away from the thing but I just couldn't, and I would carry on until it got to a point where someone thankfully distracted me, or I realised, oh damn, I really need to eat because it's been about 4 hours, and then I pull myself away from it. It feels like kind of going on autopilot, and you're kind of aware of what's going on, but then you're also not. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. I've kind of come to the conclusion that I am a walking contradiction. It just doesn't make sense. I can be at one end of the scale completely to the other. It doesn't make sense, but you know, it's fine. The third and last thing that I'm going to talk about in this video is impulsivity. There is a lot of other symptoms and all that fun stuff that I could talk about, but I don't have the brain capacity to do that right now. So the last thing is impulsivity. So the first thing in this category is saying exactly what's on my mind, whether it's like questions, really random questions, what ifs, just blunt statements, saying what I see. Sometimes I can't help it, things just come out. I have a really big fear of being misunderstood and unintentionally hurting someone, so I find that it's easier for me to be a bit quieter when I first meet people. I just don't want to say something that can be misunderstood, because I know that I do stumble over my words, and sometimes what I want to say comes out kind of wrong, and if you know me well enough you can kind of interpret that, but obviously that can't happen in all situations, so I have to be really careful, just because it has happened before, I will admit. I'm exposing myself here, and I cry when other people cry because I'm a highly sensitive person, so to accidentally hurt someone's feelings makes me feel like the worst person on this world, and I'm trying to really avoid that. So the last bit of impulsivity kind of mixes in with hyperactivity, but I'll talk more about that another time because I mainly have internal hyperactivity, I guess, I don't know. But the random bursts of movement, they are very weird, they crack me up. I guess it's like stimming, because it's like stimulating, and if I have like a burst of energy, I have fatigue, so I don't really know how that happens. So if I just have like this burst of energy, sometimes I'll just do really random movements. Like I used to be a dancer, so I would just dance, but now I'm not a dancer and I don't really dance naturally. The 3 impulsive movements that I do at the moment are the wave. Sometimes I'll just yeah, I'll do a random spin, don't know why. If I have energy I'll just spin it out, or I will act like one of those inflatables at a car dealership, you know, the inflatable balloons. I don't know why, like, I don't know why I do that. Like, sometimes I just have the urge to do it. So that's not embarrassing at all. But if I'm in public or something, or around someone that I don't feel comfortable doing that with, I will take a really deep breath and slowly blow it out, just to try and get rid of the urges to be an inflatable. I can't believe I just shared that with the internet. So that's that. And those were some of the signs, symptoms, reasons that made me realise that I had ADHD. Did that make any sense? I'm feeling very self-conscious because I am very rambly right now. My brain's a bit, you know, if that makes sense. So I hope that all made sense. I think I might make a blog because I wrote all these notes out. They sounded absolutely understandable and I don't know if this is understandable, so maybe I'll make a blog and put that on because they actually make sense. But I will maybe do another one of these. I don't know at this point because this might have been a shambles, but I guess the whole point is to show what female ADHD looks like. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video or got something from it, give it a thumbs up, comment down below any experiences that you might have had to do with this, and subscribe if you want to see more from me. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye!